recording.
Hey, welcome back. Unboxable number 17. Of course, we got a special guest today,
What's
Toomer,
up?
the
How's everybody
musician,
doing?
Stephen Kellen, the Rock Springs Rebel, unprogrammable, high-level thinker. Really long anticipated episode here. Of course, we got James back with us, coming here from South London. Today, the topic I feel like we wanted to talk about was where we're going to take civilization compared to where the media and the Matrix and the machine wants to take civilization. What do you guys get into where it looks like they want us to go? New World Order.
I'll kick the show off. It's essentially turning into turning into hell. To be honest, if I could put it into one word, if I was going to put it into one conceptualization, I'd say it's turning into hell. It's turning into a game. Okay, let me say it like this. Say there's a sprinter, right? There's two sprinters. You've got a male sprinter and a female sprinter, right? If you want to level the playing field, you cannot make the female sprinter run as fast as the male sprinter. The only thing you can do is slow the male sprinter down. And that's just a quick example. So what they're doing is there's a bunch of people who want to try and limit and hold back the people which really are far above and beyond by putting.
See, and I want to add on to what you just said there real quick, James, because I feel like, just in my own life, I've fallen victim to this circumstance, where I'm the guy that's being led back, held back, just from all kinds of examples, from like food and diet to like school to just job and education. I feel like, there's people that have these golden spirits in them and these diamond spirits in them. They're just so valuable and have so much to offer to the world. But by default, from family or from, influence from school or whatever they think their career path might be in the future, these things limit our potential for sure.
Yeah, it's designed to be that way. And they know very well what they're doing.
And the reason it limits our potential is because it doesn't bring the most out of us. It's really easy to say these things, but like to really explain why is so crucial, because we all fall victim to these circumstances, it seems like. But at the end of the day, we choose what we do. We choose, whether we go down that path or not, and whether sometimes we go down this path in life not knowing, more than often not knowing, and then we get to a point where we're like, fuck, where we're realizing life a little bit, and it's like you either choose to wake the fuck up and realize that you've been held back and go 10 times harder to fucking catch up, or not.
Yeah, that's a fact. I think that goes to the age-old depictions of Egypt all the way to Sumerians and forth. You could see this through indigenous Aborigine civilizations, meaning there's a depiction of a man and a beast, right? You see a pharaoh depictions and it shows a man intertwined with a beast. And this is simply projecting the idea that one must go back and forth with their animalistic nature and really have that God prevail, because you will get dragged back down in these instinctual pleasures, sex, beating off, porn, lower vibrational things, eating bad meat, eating meat.
Drifting through life, not giving a fuck.
Yeah, just exactly. Just no fucks, not really having ambitions or goals, essentially. Not like having godly ambitions or thoughts or visions. You're just kind of an animal. You're just instinctually going through the motions. I think you hit that right on the head. The New World Order obviously is trying to take us into a grim direction with eating bugs, less mobility, just kind of a one world government. But there's a cynical spin on this when you see this on the internet, right? And what if we don't know what the government really wants with the one world order? The one world order from the government might be the synthesis between man and woman, which is the transgender agenda. It might
Right,
be
the AI robot cyborg agenda.
yeah. So it might the government might actually be on the erasure of duality.
Right.
We just don't know, but we're not also going to take that chance because we've watched them bomb Iraq and countries and do all this other fuck shit and wicked shit. You know what I mean? So I like Atlantis more, you know, we head towards unlimited sustainable free energy through the ether.
And
Uh,
there's still so much technology and so many things that have been discovered and we have yet to discover, in a mass general populace sense. But yeah, that shit still exists. It's always existed. People are gonna find these things and they're gonna think, oh, this is so amazing, this brand new shit that's changing the world. And it's like, no, we've been lied to about ourselves and about our history and about science and about the way the world and the universe and life really works and what energy really is, where how we could really tap in to utilize the potential of free energy and not what we've been doing.
Yeah,
oh yeah, exactly.
yeah, for
What's up,
sure.
James?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's a lot of things that are yet to be discovered or rediscovered, because really all we're doing is we're
Mhm.
rediscovering ourselves, and we're finding again that which has been repressed, that which has been purposefully hidden from.
Yes.
We've spoken about the Freemasons and these esoteric groups which find this knowledge and purposely privatize it and use it to their own advantage and use it to essentially oppress your bitch ass on a wider scale. And what a one world government. What we're really looking for is a global awakening as well. There's various points across the universe. You can see it in the location of the chakras across the universe, or magnetic points which are located across. And what we need to, in order to gain the maximal energy and the maximal potential output, is we need a global awakening, a global vibration, a global rise in energy across the entire globe. And then you'll really start to see what is possible on Earth and what we can do. I truly believe that.
Yeah, we need inventors, we need engineers, people who think differently. Science is a whole trap. Like Von Braun, the person who created the rocket, he had like all types of pentagrams and weird symbolism all over the rocket. And that's even another story if that rocket went to the moon, but we're not going to dive into that. But so this is antiquitech we're talking about essentially. It's this idea of old technology that's going to resurface that's
Mhm.
that's for a higher civilization that we're kept away from. So if we get free, unlimited, sustainable free energy through the ether, we're all breatharian, we're breathing out the ether. We don't have to eat dense food, so it keeps our vibration high. I'll be fucking pissed if they do not goddamn make Chuck E. Cheese's 24 hours a day, dude. And we got all this fucking bullshit. We got ether, free energy, bro. No one pays for electricity anymore. We're fucking not killing each other. We don't have food shortages, bro. If they don't make Chuck E. Cheese's 24 fucking hours a day, bro, we fucked up.
Yo, this totally goes into some shit I was talking about on one of the previous episodes recently on my podcast where, you know, it's like, what kind of society do we want to have, though? And I've seen like influential rappers and people talking about this shit, how they're trying to like make a shift and like get people to wake up and shit. And they're doing it, but at the same time, we're not really seeing the type of global change and the mass movement that we're really pushing for. And the reason why is because a lot of people are asking themselves, well, how do I really want to live? Or maybe they're not asking themselves, and that's the problem. Because when I ask myself how I want to live, and I know these things that I know, it feels selfish to myself, like I'd be holding my own self back if I didn't make a change in my own life. Like, if I don't stop eating the fast food, if I don't stop consuming the bullshit, whether it's food, whether it's media, whether it's gossip, talking to my friends or talking about fucking Hollywood, this, that, and the third. If I don't break out of that and find a new way of humanistic living. So, what do I mean by that? What you were just saying, Roman, about getting back into nature, living off of the fucking air, living off of the earth, living off of the ether. And, it's a whole other wavelength. If you think about it, people are stuck in the 3D right now. People are having a really hard time seeing where their actions lead them because they don't look at it on a particle level. They're not looking at it in such a analyzed perspective or a more enhanced perspective. They're just looking at it in a lower vibrational sense. They see something that sounds delicious to them. They're going to put it in their fucking mouth and they're going to love it because it's delicious. They're not going to think about how it's providing them with energy to get through the day, or when they should put it inside of them so that it's relevant to the time that they're awake and the energy that they need to perform. Like, technology is a whole other layer on top of all this shit, because like I use YouTube, I use TikTok, I use the Meta bullshit. I got X, but I'm literally never on that shit. I'm never scrolling. I'm never consuming. Like I probably should get on there to like mess with the algorithms and get my shit going a little more. But I'm just posting. I'm just posting and, you know, showing who I am, showing who I am. And that's how I try to make the change, you know, by changing myself first. What do you guys got to say about that?
It's like you're leading by example and you're practicing as you preach. It's no good you saying all these things and then not doing it yourself. But then a lot of the reason why we communicate these things and why we have a podcast and why we feel the need to put the information out there is because what we need for the change to happen is not just us to be doing this. You know, we don't just want to go out into the mountains and live by ourselves. You know, we want everyone doing this, and it needs to be like a universal thing where everyone's increasing vibration, everyone's increasing the energy, and that's how you build momentum and gain traction. So at the same
Yes, once
time, yeah,
once you get out of the new world and you get back into the real world, as I like to call it, you know, it's a big shift. It's really hard for some people because it all has to do with frequency and vibration. People are on this wavelength right now where they're sucked into all this technology and shit. Their frequency is feeding off of it. So when you cut that off and get them back into real vibration, it's really difficult for people, but it is possible. And once you fucking get there, it's like people who do drugs for the first time. They just want to fucking keep going back. Even if you have to come back down to base and go about your fucking life, you're always making that strive to get back there. And leading by example is so crucial to get people there in the first place.
Interesting you said drugs because that's exactly what it is. It's a hijacking of our neural pathways. Every time you get on these different platforms, it's dopamine, serotonin releases, all types of stuff. So literally, you got to be able to kind of not want your natural reward systems. And it comes down to you kind of have to embrace a pain almost because nature has inscribed us with natural reward systems coming from you kill an animal and eat, it's dopamine. That's why if you killed an animal and ate, there'd be no fucking reward, dude. You would never do it and you die. So that had to be programmed into people to have an incentive, go wrestle a fucking elk down with their bare hands or whatever it may be, or with a bow and arrow to kill it, you know. You're not going to put your life in danger for shits and giggles, unless you're an absolute psychopath, you know. But
It's just literally a lack of understanding.
oh yeah, dude. And if you've
Level.
ever had that fucking Chuck E. Cheese pizza, you fucking know what's up.
I heard about them pizzas. Apparently they're real good.
James,
Yeah,
you gotta get over here, bro, so we can hop on some games, get some fucking tokens, and buy some cool shit with our tokens we won, and buy some pizza and shit.
Yeah,
oh
I'm
yeah,
trying to come back.
yeah. If you come back, you got to come back just for that.
Oh, I'm coming
For
back
any
just
reason.
for Chuck E. Cheese. I ain't coming back to see you, brothers.
I figured I'd actually be kind of embarrassed and offended if you came and saw me and didn't go to Chuck E. Cheese first.
I just wanted to bring something up as well. It's funny that you're talking about, you know, we getting back into reality, getting back into the real world. You know, I feel like I'm living in a different world to most people, and it's me that's the one that seems a bit crazy because it's almost like they think you're living outside of reality, but because they're so out of touch with reality, when you live inside of reality, you seem the one that's deluded. But then I just wanted to add in a point where you said about what you call the real world. It's so funny how a brother like Andrew Tate has created a website and called it the real world. He's literally created a website called The Real World. This guy's a dickhead, bro.
Yeah, he's a great value Malcolm X, and then Donald Trump is like the revolutionaries they got for us right now ain't doing it, bro. These niggas is something
I think
else, bro. This dude was
that's why Elon Musk called that shit X. Starting to try and
bro.
his name Malcolm X or some revolutionary bullshit when dudes really controlled opposition, bitch.
Well, I'll dive into that in a second. But Elon Musk is. I wish that motherfucker was Nikola Tesla. He's like we already talked about. He's a fucking bitch. He's a Nikola Tesla great value. Malcolm X's great value version is Andrew Tate, and then we got X is actually a play on Planet X. They have supposedly returned. If you know about Nibiru,
Nibiru, yeah.
yeah. So that is the invaders essentially in plain daylight. He named it X because he's hinting at Planet X. they supposedly come back and change the mind state and frame of everyone and then reset shit. So I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
The one interesting thing that you could actually find about the erection of civilization 1776, the USA, is that the USA was established by Freemasons to become the next Atlantis. And the means justify the ends. So if we got to go through 3 wars and a couple babies got to die and Chuck E. Cheese can't be open all night, this is all for the end goal of an advanced civilization. You know, and that's just through my studies. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying you should purport all this wickedness to enable evolution or the forward movement of the earth. But that's just another thought stream, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's so counter to already what we stand for. Because like once you say, you know, once you start going in these circles, you just don't know. So you got to find something, a foundation, something you believe in that you can live with yourself for and stand on it. And that's what we do. You know, you can't think so much about so much shit because then it just starts not making fucking sense.
Yeah, you start overanalyzing things. You overanalyze yourself out of doing anything at all. You know what I'm saying? It gets to a point where you do need to think and deliberate, but you know, you've got a certain amount of time on earth. You will die, and you need to get to a point where you become a man. You start taking action and responsibility, and you start achieving the goals you set out. And that's what we're trying to do.
And that's really what it's all about, you know, is waking up every day and realizing who you are, where you come from, where you're at, and where you stand with it all. I mean, so many people, like what you guys were just talking about, they witness all of this stuff, and especially through the screen makes it so harmful, because if you can't really observe it in real life and you're just soaking all this information in on a screen, then you're literally just sitting there. Like, you might as well just unscrew your head and throw it in a washer and put it on the high cycle. Like, you're just washing your brain and numbing yourself to all this stuff, to where if you were to shut it off and sit there for a second with it, like, you wouldn't be able to process it, and you're still kind of wherever you're at. You're not really doing anything to inflict any sort of change. So it's important, again, to just see it all, understand who you are, you know, where you come from. Some people are not as fortunate as people like me, who had their parents growing up and know a little bit about their lineage and their history a little bit. Some people don't even know who their dad and mom are right now. So for you guys, I would say just recognize that you are a human, and there's more to race and just this earth and this universe and the solar system even. There's more to it, and you're just human. Understand that, and know that all this shit is going on, and figure out where you stand. Are you on the side of righteousness, where you're like, fuck that, I'm gonna, you know, figure out life and figure out the secrets so that I can become a man or a woman and rise above in my true power? Am I going to be on the side of righteousness, or am I just going to kind of like take the blue pill, like, all that's too much, it's making me anxious, and, you know, just kind of do whatever, take believe whatever you want to believe, you know?
Oh
So
yeah. I got 2 bars. You got to know your roots and who you're rooting for. There's one. And then 2 is how am I going to channel divine light through this black box? So
mm,
that goes back to how the square literally blocks divine light. Like that goes to the Merkaba. So this shit's your phone
yes,
is a square for a reason. A laptop is a square for a reason. Your house is a square for a reason. Your
yes.
school is a square and uninspiring for a reason.
And if you think about it, everything in nature is what? Mathematics. And if you just look up the golden ratio and
Fibonacci. Yes, sir.
Fibonacci, you'll see it. So, I mean, there's a way to square that energy so that it does function inside of a box, but that box is inside of a box that's inside of a box that's inside of a box, right? So it's like, just having a box, you know, energy will not function properly in a box. It will come to a stopping point. It just doesn't. You have to be out in nature, in the open, to truly connect with that divine energy. You know, the truth is, you can find the light in the dark, but to really manifest its true power, you have to get out of the box. That's where I stand. That's what I think.
It's
That's
100%
facts.
true, because if you look at, we've got energy, and we've got things that we're putting out into the world, right? And everything nowadays, even us, we're mediating our energy through this screen and through this box. So everything we're offloading into the world, everything we're trying to manifest, everything we're trying to bring into reality, all we're doing is we're just offloading it onto an exterior and false reality, which is on this laptop. And it's difficult to take action, and it's difficult to try and find what action to do, because I want to take action in the real world. I want to have change outside my doorstep. I want to have things going on out here. But it seems that a lot of things today, and especially if you want to communicate to the people, you do need to come via this medium, and it's only certain people who are unboxable who might be able to create some energy within a box, and that's what we're trying to do.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think a great point to that too is like, why are you doing what you're doing? Whatever, it doesn't matter what you do. It's how you do it and why you do it, right? So it's like society pumps this ego into all of us, especially with social media. They give you an identity, they give you a face. So there's that aspect where it's like people are doing we're forced college and to focus on careers and stuff like that. People are forced into this ego where everything is about them and life is about them and making their life better. I think a really big breakthrough for some people could be to realize how it's not just for you, and it's really easy to get caught in that when you're stuck in these cubicles and when you're stuck in your own box. It's hard to see how you're actually able to make that connection, so it's easy to resort to just the typical life, you know so I feel like knowing why you're doing what you're doing and the potential of what it has, the potential it has to reach and affect people is a huge thing.
Yeah, it's a big ass rat race, dude. You got to chase the cheese, man. Hey, stand in place for me, boys. Flash, rainy raced.
Chuck E. Cheese, man. We're chasing cheese. You know what I'm saying?
Chasing cheese, and that was a little trick that I did, because you see when I was acting like I was taking a picture. You say cheese when you're taking a picture. Men in Black notorious for flashing people and erasing their whole ass brain and reprogramming them. This shit goes deep. So you're taking, even when you're getting a picture taken from the chest and you're saying cheese, Chuck E. Cheese, your brain. Okay, so scientifically, I'm not going to dive into this with scholarly articles and all types of technical jargon. I do have a college degree, so if you want to talk shit about that, you can come message me and we can go over it. But essentially, there's a frames per second and this light that is emitting from our phones and our computer, and it's flashing. And our brain does not, just like Tumor was saying, our brain does not absorb it properly or intake it as you would something experientially outside of this flashing screen. So literally, scientifically, that is backed what you said.
That's absolute fact. And it's the same with other things as well. I know I've touched on this before. Something like music. You're listening to music and you think you're getting frequencies through this tiny little speaker at the end of your phone or in your headphones. That shit is null and void and dead vibrations. When you're talking about music and hearing frequency, that shit needs to be in reality. I'm talking about people playing the bongos next to you. I'm talking about someone with a guitar. That's when you feel like the vibrations are passed
The
through.
real vibrations emanating from the soul, not
Yeah.
it's once it hits the digital, once it hits the speaker, once it hits the wire, it becomes dead.
It's
It's
done.
not the same.
Already done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, James hit it right on the head. I mean, you can program it to 432 hertz. I mean, I can go in Ableton and I could program the whole ass frequency and do 432 hertz, which is enabling and a good frequency for humans. But they could easily just have a software override for 440 hertz or something like that. Like also, like James, I mean, like Tumor said, you don't feel the soul and the vibrations of the individual's soul. Like that's when you see someone in person, it's so much different. Like you see them in person and you it's just you feel their power, their stage presence, and you kind of get the vibrations. I remember I went to a concert in person and I felt different. You
Let's
feel me?
this guitar as well.
That was a little rift about Chuck E. Cheese. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
New commercial theme song. Hire me.
That's going to be the
Yeah,
intro for the entire podcast from now on.
yeah, yeah, we gotta clip that. Chuck E. Cheese
The
and we,
fucking it's the riff for oh what the fuck? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. It's Bob Marley. Redemption song.
oh, I love Bob Marley, dude. Bob Marley is probably one of my top 5 artists
That
by
riff
far.
at the beginning of Redemption song, classic. Classic. You could use that as just that riff. You could use that as an intro.
But that's
I
just
like
vibes. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
I like his kid too, honestly.
He's got a couple, doesn't he? He's got a couple and some grandkids and
Yeah, his kid that makes music, Damien.
Damian Marley.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're Rastafari, and like we were talking about, James, you know Haile Selassie's tumor?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm from the time I was like 14 till I was like 20. I mean, even still now, I'm 24 now, so it's been like 10 years. I'm Mr. Rastafari for sure.
Yeah, Bob Marley was like the personification in music form of Haile Selassie's movement, you know.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's pretty cool. So fuck the New World Order, a bleak, dismal future of slavery, uh, digital currencies that are completely controlled by the control system and things like that. We want free energy, just so we can establish this free energy through the ether, free food, fucking free up the food slavery. We just want our vision. Fuck the vision putting forth by people right now, or negative people, or people that think they can't engineer the future, or whatever. This is what personally, and maybe I'm speaking for these two and I shouldn't be, but this is what
And you
I
know
want.
what? I'm gonna bring something up that's really huge right now, and it's gonna be really huge. It already is. It's already blowing up, and it's gonna be a really huge factor in our lives within the next 10 years, and a dominating factor of society, and it's AI. It's AI, and I feel like a big part of the global agenda too is for the AI. They want to merge. They think they're gonna merge their consciousness, the powers that be, and these people who are rising, they think they're going to merge their consciousness with this thing and live forever. But what they're really doing is manifesting an automated fucking demon that is going to run the world. And once it decides that we are they've already decided that we're obsolete. They already know that the AI is so capable of replacing so many of us in so many fields and aspects that they're ready to just fucking they're ready to do it, you know? And you already see it with fucking McDonald's. They got that first McDonald's in Texas or wherever it is where it's fully automated and shit. Like this is the future that these groups of people are pushing towards is it's a non-humanistic agenda. It's an automated agenda. They're selling the product to the product, and that's what it's all about is keeping the product in its place and then getting rich off of it. And I remember I was watching this video. I can't remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was about Alaska, or not Alaska, excuse me, Antarctica and the ice wall. And there was just this brief clip, this one sentence of this dude saying something like, yeah, there's two realities. There's the reality that everybody thinks they're living in, and then there's the reality of the people who engineered the reality that everybody thinks they're living in. And I think a big connector in this bridge is the AI and the power of the AI. You know, so what do you guys think about that and how that's playing a role in this new world order? Because if you think about it, there's already so many things, you know, from stocks to just marketing and branding and you know business that's in our face every day. Like how is a regular person going to be able to compete with these giant conglomerates of people with money and power who are utilizing these tools to help them achieve dominance in the world?
Um, yeah, that's a really broad question. It's a difficult one to take in, but we'll definitely give it a go. I mean, it's AI and automated things. It's a weird because no one likes going to work, right? Like you will speak to people, and obviously no one likes it. No one likes going to work on the production line. No one likes going into McDonald's. I saw a case in America recently where a woman like hit one of the employees at a fast food restaurant, and she
Oh,
got.
it's a regular thing. Fucking Karens losing their minds in the drive-through.
But
Oh, I
but
thought Burger King worker yesterday.
but but the point was she got as her punishment for that case. She got told she needs to work at the fast food restaurant for a month or so. So what they're basically telling you with that is that that shit's a punishment in itself. So it's difficult to look at it in the sense of no one likes doing them jobs, and we've got to this point now where all the jobs that we don't want to do in society, you might be able to get automated. So you can look at it from that perspective. But at the same time, I mean, I think taking AI on a broader scale, and when I really think of the real negative benefits of AI, the first thing that comes to mind is Elon Musk and that brain chip that he's trying to put inside of your head. And from the perspective that I come from, what they're trying to do is they're trying to preach it to you as if it's progress, as if it's an improvement. All they're doing is they're creating an inferior reality for you. You know that the best reality and the best life for you to live is how you should be. That is it. That is literally God. That is the experience of God. And all they're doing is literally demonizing, trying to play God themselves and trying to create a false fucking inferior reality and try and put it on your bitch ass. And to me, the entire thing just reeks.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna answer this with a couple facts and then just kind of really quick. One is that yes, you're completely right. And here's the factual basis for what Toomer was saying. BlackRock is a huge investment fund, hedge fund business, and they have a AI called Aladdin. And this is a quantum computing AI that predicts stocks. That's the only thing that I know it predicts, but I guarantee it also predicts when Chuck E. Cheese's closes, like who's going to win the World War III and all, this just esoteric shit, And there's also a North Pole. North Pole is occupied by UN, the UN, correct? So that means all the countries have access essentially to it. And there's a huge quantum computing assembly at the North Pole. And the reason it's at the North Pole is because quantum computing needs 0 degrees to operate. It's like it just like your computer needs a fan in it and has to be at a certain temperature. It's like way colder, way more cooling capacity it needs for quantum computing. What I think you can do is that the glory of God and divine light and channeling, and the story goes on, and the work is never done, the dummy, so the lazy will be late. You just got to do the work, and you got to check the boxes to meet the blessings. So there's some boxes, make sure you check them fuckers and do what you're supposed to, and you'll get the blessings. I mean, a computer at the end of the day, it might be ran on a demon. That's not the encompassing whole of God. So it's not going to be able, it can replace McDonald's workers, but I don't think it's going to be able to replace a Roman Peterson or a Toomer or a James Parker.
It's always going to be inferior. In my personal opinion, it's always going to be inferior to the actual thing itself. It's
It
trying to
is.
say
It
that.
is. And I really think that when it comes to, you know, how we can actually make use of this technology, I think we can just use it the same way that we've already been using it. If you think about it, automation with computer technology has already always been around. I think the point is not to integrate with it. The point should be what it always has been. What is it that we're trying to get to? What's the end goal of whatever this is? And how can we use this technology to streamline the process or make it go faster? Like my cousin hit me up for some artwork because me and him made a song together. He was like, I want to drop it on my SoundCloud. I was like, cool. And he like got some like some stock photo off of Google and threw some text on it. And I was like, bro, this looks like a fourth grader made it on Pixar on their phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was thinking of some ideas and literally like used an AI image generator and typed some shit in and generated it a couple times till I got something that looked dope. Put it in Photoshop, started fucking with it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that took the whole process of idea to getting it down, it helped me streamline that whole process. So I mean, in terms of creation, there's ways that you can use it to, like, if you're an artist who likes to draw, obviously you're going to be against that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not here with the time and resources to draw or pay somebody to do it for me. So It's a great tool for someone like a kid or someone who's trying to come up who might not have those resources to be able to further advance themselves, you know? So I think that's just one example. That's just one example. There's plenty of different things that you could think of that you could automate or that AI could help you get through faster in life. But I think integrating with it, like what you guys were saying with the Neuralink and all that type shit, the Google glasses, the augmented reality, all that is horseshit. All that is the Matrix, the 3D trying to take you away from your spirit and put you in the fucking cage. You know, but if you know the truth, you know that the ether is in and all around you, and that everything that we do in life are all the tools that we utilize in life are just that. They're tools to help us achieve connection and build community and build whatever it is we're trying to build and progress in life and be content.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Go on.
go ahead. I just got one more. We got 2.5 minutes left here, so we're gonna wrap this up.
Dope.
Nikola Nikola Tesla, great value. Elon Musk released the Optimus Gen 2, which is pretty much a robot. And all I'm saying, bro, is it's your head on a stick if you don't put them fuckers to work for 24 hours in Chuck E. Cheese. Because really, what's creating the oppression of society in these riots, people really getting fed up, and us creating podcasts, is the lack of pizza at 2 a.m. So we just want to conclude on that. We are comedians. Everything we said here is a joke. We're not legally liable for anything or any advice said, being this is a comedic podcast.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, no one else can hold me liable for my actions apart from myself. I don't subscribe to any higher power in the world apart from myself. Obviously, we've got God. There ain't no police force that can try and tell me what to do. I'm righteous. I know I am. As far as I'm concerned, the police are a gang that are being used to protect the presuppositions of the wicked. Fuck them. That shit was part of the skit, bitch.
Oh yeah. Tell us where we could find you, Toomer.
Well, first I want to say enjoy your time at Chuck E. Cheese's, everybody. Because you never know when your last time going might be, you know. So enjoy that shit, enjoy your life. Understand that there's more to life than just going to Chuck E. Cheese. And if you want to hear more from me, I do have my own podcast. It's called Revealed Podcast. That's RUVEILED podcast everywhere. YouTube, Rumble, social media. I'm also a hip hop artist and a producer, and I go by the name Toomer. That's T00M3R. So you can find me at www.T00M3R.com, Toomer.com. I got my videos on YouTube. I got streaming on Spotify, Apple, everywhere that you stream music. So holla at you, boy, and it's one love. Ja!
Hell yeah. James got his book, Crowns and Jewels, that he's going to forget to brandish once again. I hope we can link again. We've never actually. There it is.
Say what, James?
Sits upside down today. Might get that shit on a diagonal.
Our viewers know, dog. We actually never met Steven, Karen, aka Toomer, ever, or talked to him. So this is completely organic. First time we've talked to
Roman,
him.
how old are you?
I'm 24 years old. August 20th
I'm
is my
24. I
birthday.
think, did you go to